Hello friends, I Dr. Vinita. Welcome back to Physiotherapy Junoon channel and this video for the cervical spine. The cervical spine is the most superior portion of the vertebral column and lying between the cranium and the thoracic vertebra. It consists of 7 distinct vertebrae, 2 of which are given unique names. One is the C1, first cervical vertebra is called the atlas, and the second cervical vertebra or C2 is the axis. In this video, we shall look at the anatomy of the cervical vertebra and their characteristic features, articulations, and clinical relevance. What are the characteristic features of the cervical vertebra? There are 3 main features of the cervical vertebra. First is the triangular. The foramen is the triangular one. Second feature is the bifid spinous process distally. Third one is the transverse foramen. Hole in the transverse processes, they give passage to the vertebral artery, vein, sympathetic nerves and all. Atlas and axis. What are the atlas and axis? C1 and C2. The atlas and axis have additional features that mark them apart from other cervical vertebrae. How they different from the other cervical vertebrae? First we discuss about the atlas. The atlas is the first cervical vertebra and articulate with the occiput of the head and the axis. It differ from other cervical vertebra in that it has no vertebral body and no spinous process. Instead, the atlas has lateral masses which are connected by an anterior and posterior arc. That's why when you palpate posteriorly on a person, you can't palpate the atlas. Each lateral mass contains a superior articular facet for articulation with the occipital condyles and inferior articular facet for articulation with C2. So here we understand that the articulation or the superior articular facets, they articulate with the occipital condyles, and inferior side there is C2, so that the articular facets articulate with the C2. Second, the anterior arc contain a facet for articulation with the dens of the axis. Dens is like a part in the cervical spine. Here you see in picture, this is the dens part. Okay, this is C1, this is C2. Here is the dens part, it articulate. The anterior arc contain facet or articulation with dens of the axis. This secured by the transverse ligament of the atlas, which attached to the lateral mass. The posterior arc has a groove for vertebral artery and C1 spinal nerve. Here again we see the axis. The axis or the C2 is easily identifiable. Why? With the anterior arc of the atlas is doing so, creating the medial atlantoaxial joint. This allows the rotation of the head independently of the torso. And the dens or the spinous process of C2 we can feel by palpation. When we posteriorly palpate, our hand after the occiput directly slip on the C2 spinous process and it make the atlantoaxial joint. The axis also contains superior articular facets which articulate with the inferior articulate facet of the atlas. Earlier we seen that the inferior articulate facets are attached to the superior articulate facet of the C2. Here is some articulation of the atlas and the axis and joint formation. What are the joint between these two? The joint of the cervical spine can be divided into two groups. Those that are present throughout the vertebral column and those unique to the cervical spine. They only and only found in the cervical spine. Present throughout the vertebral column, there are two different joints present throughout the column. First, between vertebral bodies, adjacent vertebral bodies are joined by intervertebral disc. Here you see in the picture. Wait. Here my slides and you see the picture clearly. Here you see the vertebral bodies and they form the joint intervertebral disc made by fibrocartilaginous. This is type of cartilaginous joint known as symphysis. Second, between vertebral arches formed by articulation of superior and inferior articular processes from adjacent vertebra. It is synovial type joint. They are synovial type joint. So here we study that two types of joint in cervical vertebra. First, between vertebral bodies. Second, between vertebral arches. The vertebral body which contain cartilaginous joint and the vertebral arches which contain the synovial type joint. So two type of joint and two type of processes or two type of, one is body and one is arc. The articular joints unique to cervical spine. There are two joints unique to the cervical spine. They only and only found in the cervical spine only. The atlantoaxial joint and the atlanto-occipital joint. What this mean? Atlantoaxial joint. Atlanto and axial. The atlant process C1, axial C2. The atlantoaxial joints are formed by articulation between the atlas and the axis. First, we study lateral atlantoaxial joint. The name suggests that it found laterally, formed by articulation between the inferior facet of the lateral mass of C1 and superior facet of C2, because C1 and then C2, so that the inferior facet of C1 and superior facet of C2, because they are arranged in a saddle shape, so they lie like this, you seen in the picture, and these are plane type synovial joint. So third category, plane type synovial joints. Second, the unique to cervical spine, medial atlantoaxial joint, formed by articulation of the dens of C2 with articulation facet of C1. So here is some changes, because dens is not found in all over your body, not in thoracic, not in lumbar. It only and only found at the cervical spine. So this is very unique for the cervical spine, and it is also called the pivot joint or the synovial joint, pivot type and synovial joint. Next, the atlanto-occipital joint, which is formed between occiput and the atlas, consists of articulation between the spine and the cranium. They occur between the superior facet of lateral masses of the atlas and the occipital condyles at the base of cranium. These are condylite type synovial joint. Permit flexion at head like nodding process. So in next we see the cervical spine. Here you see, to understand the cervical spine, the occiput, atlas, axis, surrounding soft tissue, they are collectively, we can say, the craniocervical region. There is atypical modified vertebrae, atlas and axis, the absence of intervertebral disc, presence of an odontoid peg, and the configuration of double convex joints, bilateral at the C1 and C2 articulations. The atlas and axis together with the occiput form a unique triad articulation referred to as the occipito-atlanto-axial complex, or we can say OAA, occipito-atlanto-axial complex. And next we see that C1 and C2 complex. We studied earlier the OC joint, atlanto-occipital joint, and the atlanto-axial joint, which is between C1 and C2. This complex is responsible for approximately 1/3 or 20 degrees of the total cervical sagittal plane movement, which include the flexion and the extension. 4 to 7 degree of flexion and 70 to 21 degree of extension occur across the complex, with the majority of this movement occurring specifically at the atlanto-occipital joint, or C0 and C1. Here you see that the atlanto-occipital joint configuration is specifically designed to facilitate upper cervical flexion and extension. We can say the retraction and the protraction of the cervical spine. The lack of intervertebral disc along the congruence joint surface, which are long and thin, oriented in posterior anterior directions, facilitate the nodding movement of the head or neck. Axial rotation is largest range of motion across the OAA. Study consistently show that the atlantoaxial provides 60% of the total cervical rotations, which amount to approximately 30 to 56 degree to each side. Cervical rotation has been shown to start at the C1 and C2 level and to continue sequentially down the cervical spine, with each joint moving only once the preceding joint has completed its range of movement. Although the first, second, and seventh vertebra have special features, the rest of vertebra of the cervical spine are almost identical. The vertebral body we seen earlier. This is the vertebral body. The typical vertebra consists two parts, one vertebral body, one vertebral arc. The body of the typical vertebra is relatively small, broad mass of trabecular spongy bone covered by a layer of cortical bone. And the vertebral arc, we see that in vertebral arc there is lamina, see the picture, intervertebral disc, vertebral foramen, pedicles of the vertebral arc, lamina, spinous process, and the superior articular facet, superior articular processes, and transverse process. This upper part is the cervical spine body, and the lower part is called the vertebral arc. These are some articulations on the cervical vertebra, and they will help us to assess the movements, how the cervical spine movement, what degree of extension, flexion, and rotation. Because after this we have a idea about the patient, or idea about the assessment part of the patient, or easy to assess the patient. Thanks for watching, and please like, share and subscribe my video. In next video we will continue the cervical spine and the movement part and the muscles, ligament which are included in the cervical spine.